Hi, my name's Angela Sykes and I'm the director of Yoga Kula Leads.
Hi, I'm Lily Harvey and I'm the director and founder of Peacock Tree Yoga in our yoga school in York.
So Lily and I, in March, will be offering an amazing training, How to be a Successful Yoga Teacher. And today we just wanted to answer a few questions that we've been sent in and also just kind of let you guys know if it's going to be right for you, if this course is for you. So if you're training to be a yoga teacher, this is the perfect course for you. So don't worry about finishing the training. Everything that you learn will wrap around what you're learning on the Teacher Training course. And by the end of the course, you'll feel really ready, if you haven't already, begun to set up your own classes and have a clear direction. You might be stuck in a rut with your yoga teaching, so you're giving and giving and giving, and you don't feel that you're getting as much in return as you need. So it'll help you to kind of be a little bit more commercial, be a little bit more successful in terms of not only commercially but also your energy levels as well. So we want to feel happy and enjoy what we're doing.
Yeah, really about creating a heart-centered business that's
Yeah.
nourishing you on all levels, so energetically, financially, spiritually, so that you're your best self as well.
Exactly, your best, your highest self. So you might be stuck in a rut, you might be training, you might have recently graduated, you might just want to feel like part of something as
Part
well.
of a community.
Part of a community, part of a teaching community, so it's a great place to
It
meet
is.
other
You might have
people.
been teaching for a few years and you've got a horrible timetable that's left you feeling drained and uninspired, you've lost your own practice and you're looking for motivation and inspiration.
Definitely. So we've been sent loads of questions, so we can only answer a few. So let's pick some out. Do you want to go first?
Yes. So, how do you impress a yoga studio owner? This is such a good
a good
question.
one.
This is a good question. Shall I go?
You go.
I go. So, first of all, how you impress a yoga studio owner is you turn up. I get a lot of emails.
Turn up.
Turn up.
The first step.
Turn up. So I get a lot of emails, people saying offering cover work, and I say, great, come along for a free class of your choice so that we can connect and communicate. And only 50% of people who send me their CV actually turn up for a free yoga class. And I think, if you can't even turn up to a free yoga class, why would I give you work?
Yeah, exactly.
So turn up, and if you do turn up early and turn up composed.
Not stressed.
Not stressed, you're not in a flap. And have a steadiness about your energy. So you're not flapping about parking or your story. You're settled, you're ready, you're engaged, be friendly with the other students in the room, be interested in the school and what the school stands for, show enthusiasm. And also I think there's a humility. So hand back at the end, offer to help the teacher tidy up the studio. These are really nice things and they're basic.
Yeah, I totally agree. So I really agree with the
Yeah.
punctuality. So we're kind of looking at what potentially you might behave like if you did come to teach at the
Yeah.
studio. Don't come in, if you're doing a trade test, for example, don't try and do loads of crazy poses that are really, really advanced. We want to see that you can teach the broader spectrum of our classes, which is more kind of all levels and beginners and things like that. So the very advanced yogis is actually quite a small percentage of the market.
It is.
So don't try and impress by doing loads of moves. We just want to see how you teach kind of normally.
And how you connect.
And how you connect with people, definitely. And then I always like it when, after I've met someone, they send me a follow-up email as well. And that allows me just to kind of think, okay, they've thought about it from the beginning all the way through to the end.
There's a
So that's how
professionalism,
you-
isn't there?
Professionalism. So that's how you'd impress
There
a
really
yoga
is.
studio. Next question, shall I?
Your go.
My go. Oh, we've had that one. What makes a good yoga teacher and what makes a good class? Well, that's a really big question.
It is.
Yeah, so we covered a few of the things on what makes a good yoga teacher before, so I'll kind of talk a little bit more about the class. So I think a good yoga class is not just the actual class content, but it's everything around it. So it's the connecting, It's the conversations that you have before and after. It's the holding space, making sure everyone feels supported, make sure everyone knows what they're doing, where are things kept, what do I do next, where do I put my shoes, things like that, practical things so people can relax, and then make it interesting and exciting and engaging. So have add-ons, things like China gel, massages, you know, chocolate at the end. So all of these kind of things are what get people talking to one another. We call it wow moments. So we create moments that delight. How many of those can we have?
It's those little touches of magic, isn't it?
Definitely.
It really is. And I think a yoga class also needs to be transformative. You know, it really does. Students need to feel altered. They need to feel that they're different from how they started to how they finished, and they emerge back into the world a slightly better version of themselves. You know, energetically, their energy has changed. They feel stronger, they feel looser, they feel warm, and mentally they feel soothed. And you've taken them on a journey. And also that you've touched them. One of my teachers said to me, right at the beginning, make sure you touch everybody once. It can be physically, it can be an adjustment, but it also could be verbally. And I think that's really important.
Yeah, we say at Kula, we have to give people the feels. Make them feel something.
Make them feel something.
Yeah, definitely. Fantastic. Do you want to
So good class, did we do
good class, good teacher.
Good teacher. So it is the content, but there's also that magic element that Angela alluded to. A good teacher is inspired and inspiring, I think. And a good teacher, yes, there's a class plan, yes, there's all of that, but a good teacher has light in their eyes, you know? And I think a good teacher has a good teacher.
Yes.
I think good teachers are connected to their own practice and their senior teachers. And I think it's one of the things that yoga teachers lose is their own practice and their connection. And I think that that's really important. So that you're bright, you're interesting, you're inspired, you have good things to say.
You're in the zone yourself.
You're in the zone yourself, and that's, I think, what makes a good teacher as well.
Definitely.
Is it my go?
Your go, last
question?
Last question for today. We've got lots in there, but last one for today's video.
So, how did you start your yoga business? That's such a good question.
Such a good question. Do you want to go first?
I'll go first. Okay. And I think it's a really good question because, you know, when people look at me or people look at Angela, they see where we are now, and that's not how it looked at the start. So I suppose there's lots of places where I could start with this, but where I want to start is 2010, when I came back from London to York, and I was starting all over again. And I needed to find a full-time job, so I worked in, and that's what lots of people have to do, they have to support themselves. So I worked in a jewellery shop, which I really liked, and I started my yoga business. And what I did was, right at the start, my friend said, come back to York, Lily, you can teach a couple of my children's classes and I'll pay you. And if you help me distribute the flyers, you can put a little bit about your class at the bottom. And that's how it started. So all these children's classes that I was teaching, and at the bottom I said, oh, and by the way, there's another class straight afterwards, come along. And I delivered those flyers to all the schools in York, and then I emailed everybody I'd ever met in my contacts, and 7 people showed up, and I was thrilled. And that's how it started. And I opened a business account, and that's how it started. But very quickly, from that May, 6 weeks later, I had a beginner's workshop, and then I did another class. And then I had my beginners, and then I had my improvers. And I did more flyers, and by the September, I had 2 beginners classes, 1 improvers class. So you can see how it builds, but it's logical and sequential. Another load of flyers at Christmas. And I put the effort in. I delivered 5,000 flyers. And I had an offer for 2 for 1 on that flyer. So I'd get 2 students, which was worth it for me. And I knew that it took me 8 hours to deliver 1,000 flyers. Wow. But I did it a few times a year, I did it. And by that January, I had, I think 5 classes with 10, 15 people in each class. And now that's a business. And by that stage, I didn't need to work in the shop anymore.
So that's how you made that transition.
That's how I made the transition. But also, I need to say that I'd had my teacher for a year before that. So I had an idea of how a yoga business looked and how you build it.
Yeah.
So over the year, it wasn't random, it was carefully designed, it was planned out.
And that's what you'll be sharing kind of in the training as well, that kind of pathway.
Yeah. But it's all a journey, isn't it?
Definitely. So
how did you start?
How did I start? So mine was a little bit different. So I landed back in the UK after living in India for a year and a half. a bag of dirty yoga clothes and nothing else. And I started Yoga Cooler in my mum's living room, actually.
Did you?
Yeah, because I was like, well, I don't have any money, so I can't rent anywhere. What have I got? And I looked at what I did have, and it was my mum's living room. So I was like, Mum, can I start teaching yoga one-to-ones in your living room? She's like, yes, Mum, of course. So I started doing that. I was doing massages, and then a few more people kind of wanted to come along. I ended up being given a free space in a karate studio, and managed to build that class up quite nicely. I got a piece of PR in the Huddersfield Examiner, so my class was really full, which was really exciting. And then I kind of moved over to Leeds and started teaching in studios here. Actually, I travelled from Huddersfield to Leeds to begin with, and it took me 3 hours to do one class, and I just did it and built my reputation in Leeds. So you just have to put in that time.
There's the legwork at the start,
There's
isn't
the
there?
legwork at the start, and then from there, it just kind of, like yours, just the step, the planning and the organising and making sure I had a clear vision all the time. And from there to last year, we had 36,000 visitors at Yoga Cooler Leeds. So just taking those steps, and we can show you this pathway,
we can,
to get to this place. But it, like you said, it is a journey. It isn't instant. Are you ready to put in the work? If you are, we can show you where to start. Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Thank you. So we look forward to seeing some of you on the course.